Look, man, y'all seen it coming, man, and in today's video, but we're going to be talking about Fairytail, the most infamous anime Fairytail, the most quote-unquote power friendship. Everything about it. Let's go and talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all leave a like. Let's try to get 45 likes on this video. And if you haven't subscribed already, I mean, like, what are you doing with your life? But yeah, man, let's go and get into the video. Is Fairytail good or bad? The official Fairytail review, man. Let's get it. So I won't be going over every arc in Fairytail like how I did the Hunter x Hunter review. This video will be about 50 hours long. But let's go talk about why people dislike the anime, the pros and cons, and my final review on the anime. Let's go and talk about the #1 issue I hear people complain about, and that is the power of friendship. Huh? Look, I watched Fairytail twice, and the power of friendship never ruined the anime for me. Like, that thing, the power of friendship that people so claim to happen, only happens about 2 to 3 times in the show. And if it only happened 2 to 3 times in the show out of 328 episodes, and that's all people complain about is the power of friendship, then that would make Fairytail quote-unquote a good anime, because I never hear the fights are bad, I never hear the plot is trash, I never hear anything else just about the power of friendship. Now, to answer your question, did the power of friendship ever happen in Fairytail? Yes, it's happened along with other shonen anime like DBZ and Naruto. But like I said before, when I watched Fairytail, the power of friendship was never an issue for me. The anime, I was enjoying the anime on how good it was. I really didn't even know about the power of friendship until I came to TikTok and people were saying it's the power of friendship. And I feel like most of the people who say that actually trend ride and just go with it. It's just how people say DBZ has no plot. They're all just trend ride on anime and just find one thing to hate about the anime. And like I said before, I feel like most of the people who say the power of friendship haven't even watched the show. Like, I just, oh my gosh, I can't. But to finally answer your question, does the power of friendship ruin the experience of Fairytail? No, it does not. Fairytail still has the humor, the good fights. I'm talking about all that later in the review. But the power of friendship does not ruin the anime Fairytail at all, because it barely even happens in the show. It's just Natsu likes to talk about his friends throughout the show, and that's not an issue. I mean, being a good friend is really not an issue. So the quote-unquote power of friendship does not ruin the experience of Fairytail. Now let's talk about the actual cons of the show, like what's actually like wrong with the show, which there are very few. So the very first con that I think, in my opinion, is that Fairytail has the lack of writing off characters that should be written off. Not saying you have to write off every character in existence, but I'm saying that characters that should be written off have not been written off of the show. For example, keep in mind there's going to be a Fairytail spoiler right here about like now, so click off the video. So really, Makarov should have been packed up once he used the fairy law against the whole people in the war. He should have been packed up, but instead he was put into a wheelchair. And then the fact that Zeref and Mavis got reincarnated is kind of BS. It's just the creator doesn't want characters to die that should be dead. Like, there should be no reincarnation. There should be, Makarov should be packed up by now. Like, how many times this man basically done killed himself? He should have been packed up, but the creator just like, no. So I feel like that is a con of Fairytail. But don't get me wrong, he does write off characters. For example, like Ignil, he wrote off Old Tier, Gray's master, Natsu and Natsu's mom and dad, Urza's mom. Like, he don't get me wrong, he writes off characters, but the problem I have is that he won't write off important characters, like very important characters to the show that should be dead. For example, Gajio was going to die in the show, and then he magically came back. I forgot how he came back, but he came back, right? But not saying he doesn't know how to write off characters. Like, he makes characters seem like they're about to die, and then they come back to life, and it's like they should have died right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just a basic act of plot armor. But like I was saying, I don't really mind that, but I don't really like that as well. I just feel like for some people, they might mind that. So that's why I put it as one of the cons of the show. But don't get me wrong, like I said before, he does write off characters, but just not in characters that are very important to the cast. I'm into the viewers. But I mean, hey, I'm not trying to get my favorite character written off, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I can see where it's coming from. So me personally, I don't think it's a con, but I see it could be a con for some people. Now, another con that I have for Fairytail, this one I actually agree with, is that characters having wasted potential, like Agnologia, him getting one-shotted, and August randomly suiciding for practically no reason. Like, I didn't like that. Like, these were important characters. Like, that was Zeref's son, August, who literally suicided. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should have been broken. Like, he is broken, but the fact that they had to, like, stop him by suiciding was wasted potential, because he could have been a menace. Like, I feel like other characters besides Natsu could have dealt with him. Like, Godash was dealing with him, but he was obviously getting waxed. But I feel like that was just wasted potential. And then Agnologia, don't get me wrong, he's a great villain. But then at the end where he got one-shotted, I feel like Natsu should have tamed that power and fought on par with Agnologia and then eventually beating him instead of actually one-shotting him. And then those were really important villains to the show. So really this only happened in the war arc, where the war arc was just a lot of wasted potential in the arc. But I feel like that's a con only happened in the war arc, not really throughout the show. So I really don't feel like it's a major issue in the show. It wouldn't kill the vibe of the show. Not all characters have wasted potential, just some characters in the war arc. So yeah, that's mostly all the cons I could think about Fairytail. I mean, other than that, Fairytail's other stuff that they be doing are busting. So let's talk about some of the pros in Fairytail. And let's start off with one of the pros, which are the fights. The fights, I love the fights in Fairytail. They are amazing. The animation is smooth. The animation is good. They don't have lack of fights. They don't have too much fights. They have just enough fights for it to make it good fights. And then on top of that, they let side characters have their own person to fight instead of just the MC fighting the only main villain and then beating him. But all characters in Fairytail get a time to shine. And that's one thing I really like about Fairytail compared to other animes like Naruto, like Rock Lee and Tintin. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they barely got in the screen time. Like, they should have had some time to shine as well. So another pro about Fairytail is like, I like the humor in Fairytail. Like, Fairytail knows how to make you laugh, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's something that me personally I like in the anime, is that if an anime has humor, I'm instantly on you. You know what I'm saying? It's not too much humor, but it has humor in it a lot, and I feel like it changes your mood as you're watching the anime. And then that leads into my other pro of the anime, is that it really changes your mood into more of a positive vibe. Like, it feels like you're really attached to these characters and like you're really laughing with them, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the humor, and it changes your whole vibe when you watch it, is an important factor in the anime. And this would lead me into my another pro about the anime, is that Fairytail has good side characters. I really don't see a bland important side character in Fairytail. Like, they're all good side characters. Like I said before, they all get a time to shine. That's something I really like about Fairytail, is the side characters as well. So this will lead into my other pro, which would be Natsu being a great main character. Natsu is a great main character in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? He's everything that you need. And some people will say that he has a lack of character development, and that's because Natsu was already a great character from episode 1. That's what I really like about Fairytail, is that Natsu was already a great character from episode 1. No character development needed, you know what I'm saying? I can understand if you need character development, but Natsu needed no character development throughout the show, you know what I'm saying? He was just a great MC in my opinion. And I also feel like Natsu is an MC that everyone could enjoy. I feel like no one would get mad at Natsu being an MC, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, he's the MC. Like, I feel like no one would have that reaction. I feel like yes, Natsu's the MC, you know what I'm saying? And then another pro about Fairytail is that the lack of bad arcs, you know what I'm saying? It has one bad arc in Fairytail, which is Edilis, in my opinion. That one wasn't the greatest, you know what I'm saying? But it's not unbearable like the Bleach Bound arc, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's not a good arc, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it belongs to the D to the C category of arcs, you know what I'm saying? Final, hurry up the fuck with the finish of fucking. Okay, I'm finishing the review. Okay, I can name more pros, I can name more cons, but those are the ones that stood out to me really. So let's talk about the final review of Fairytail. Now I can finally let it out. Fairytail is my favorite anime, you know what I'm saying? Fairytail, in my opinion, is a 10 out of 10 enjoyment rise, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it has some plot holes, some this and that, but enjoyment wise, Fairytail is a great anime, and I feel like everyone should just go watch, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's up there with Naruto, the OGs, you know what I'm saying? Fairytail, my opinion, great anime, you know what I'm saying? Give it a try. Tell me what you like about it, you know what I'm saying? Even though I said give it a try after I just spoiled you a couple seconds ago, so mostly people who watch Fairytail already. But yeah, like I'm saying, man, I think Fairytail personally a 10 out of 10 for me, you know what I'm saying? Good side characters, good fights, give character development, give character development what they needed, and I feel like just a great anime in general. So I would give Fairytail a 10 out of 10, man. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. And yeah, what am I going to do after this video? I don't know. I don't know how to end the video. Oh my gosh. Okay, bye.